Okay, so just checking back in. Little update from yesterday. I went ahead and ate the biscuits and gravy yesterday, like I said I was going to. That was definitely interesting. It tasted decent, but yeah, it was kind of crunchy even after letting it sit for an extra few minutes. I don't know if that was just the water didn't get all the way into it or anything like that. Yeah, it was kind of weird. It also wasn't near as satiating as I thought it would be. I was actually hungry again by last night, and we went ahead and cracked open the case of the cookies just to see if that would work as a meal for me. And it was about 300 calories, so it wasn't horrible. Sorry, 400 calories. I also kind of spread those around the house a little bit. My sister tried those, and her mother-in-law tried them. Those were, like, the flavor was there, but unless you enjoy eating sawdust, it's definitely something that's emergency use only type deal. And then I went ahead and waited until this afternoon to eat the MRE, which that had all kinds of problems anyways, because one, apparently the heating pack that was in the MRE that I had malfunctioned, or it was a dud, or whatever you want to call it. So when I went to add the water in there, I let it set for a good 15-20 minutes, and not even thinking about it, I go back in there and it's still ice cold. So then I turned around and it was like, okay, fine, something's wrong. Turned around and dumped the water that I poured out of it, and I dumped a little bit of hot water in there and tried to get it to go that way. And even with hot water, it started cooling down almost immediately. So I was determined I wasn't going to eat a cold MRE. So what I ended up doing was I ended up microwaving a container full of water until it started boiling, and then just kind of slid the pack in there, let it set for about 10 minutes to heat up. And the pork with sauce and rice, one from APAC, the flavors there, like you taste pork, there's no texture in pork. All you really, the only texture you get is really just like the sauce and the rice. But you kind of taste it. It's almost like an incredibly oversweet barbecue sauce with rice, and it was mush. Like if you're a texture person, you're probably gonna have an issue if you have to eat an MRE. But that kind of set in my stomach it's actually set in my stomach for the last couple of hours like a brick, and it's definitely not something that I would want to eat every single day. However, I'm going to attempt to eat a couple more throughout the week. That way I can get another video in this next weekend. I'm definitely not going to be eating one every day, because that would just be torture for me. But I will go ahead and save the slips for the flavors that I ate throughout the week, just so I can kind of give another review next weekend for the ones that I did try. I might even try some of those survival tabs, just to because it's basically, like I said, they're kind of just like over-calorie vitamins. So I might try a couple of those throughout the days. Maybe just to give myself something to munch on a little bit at like lunchtime or something like that when I'm at work. Anyways, I'm hoping this kind of helps you out a little bit. Once again, like I said, when you're starting to prepare, or when you're starting to get into prepping and you're wanting to start stockpiling food, always order 1 or 2 meals at a time to make sure that you can actually stomach them. Because like with those survival bars, I may end up trying a different flavor. That vanilla pound cake flavor, the flavor was incredibly strong, but like I said, it was like eating a sawdust wafer. I mean, like I I got through it, but it wasn't an enjoyable experience. So anyways, yeah, that's pretty much all I had for today. Next week, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and at least go through this again and kind of see throughout the week if I can get maybe 2 or 3 more of the flavors in there. My son is also wanting to get into this kind of stuff, so I may have to kind of like hijack a couple of his meals throughout the week and see if he can help sample some of them as well. Of course, he doesn't really want to be on the channel, so I'm not going to force him to. Definitely not. But I'll have him write out what his thoughts were on the meals. But yeah, hopefully by that time, sometime next week, we'll be able to get in there. I'm also wanting to start in on like some of the basics of survival. So like survival skills that people have that would be useful for just in general, just useful skills that you can actually have. Like fire building, obviously, would be is a great useful skill. You're not always going to have a lighter on you. However, if you do make a, if you put a lighter in your bug out bag, then obviously you'll have one. But what happens if that lighter doesn't work? Knowing different skills of how to make a fire is obviously useful. And I might get into, I had a friend recently send me a new camp stove. It's not all that great, but it's definitely compact, but it's interesting. I more than likely will, however, stick with the little alcohol stove that I have, because obviously it lights easier, and it just if I'm going to have to use something like that, I'd rather go ahead and light it easier and be a little bit more efficient, because the alcohol stove will boil a can of water for maybe 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes or so. It'll start boiling the water. Whereas with the little tiny wood stove that my friend sent me, you're probably looking at like 7 to 8 minutes to actually get the fire good and going, and then you can put the water on, and then it takes, because it's just burning, it's just incredibly inefficient. It's going to take a few extra minutes. But anyways, that'll be for next week. Hopefully I will see you guys then. If this helped you out, please do me a favor, leave a comment, share, subscribe, whatever, and I hope to hear from you guys. I hope to hear from you guys later. Bye.